What's going on, guys? It's MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today, Bandai released the final color for the Tournament of Power set, the yellow color, and they got some pretty good cards in there. Of course, everybody was expecting Frieza, we knew Jiren was coming, but we didn't quite expect them to do this. First up, we got the Frieza leader, who, if you noticed, is not Frieza Army. I knew he wouldn't be. It just didn't make sense for the Tournament of Power set. It did not fit the theme, and we really just don't need another broken Frieza leader that can abuse Bloodlust for no reason. Just like the other Universe 7 leaders, he has the Warrior of Universe 7 trait. All Universe 7 cards in all areas have no specified energy cost. His activate main says once per turn, place one Universe 7 card from your hand into the drop area, draw 2 cards. It's very similar to the Tournament of Power Gohan Leaders effect, while at the same time being similar to the old Golden Frieza Leaders ability from Set 1. When your life is at 4 or less, choose 2 your energy, switch them back to active, and flip this card over. Obviously, he does not need to draw on Awakening. On the Awakened side, we have Golden Frieza, the final Assailant. Once per turn, place one Universe 7 from your hand in the drop area, draw 2 cards. Then, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So, it kind of goes along with the theme of yellow being a stun deck. And it also would work really well in tandem with Apes, as much as I don't want to throw that out there, just because you're putting a lot of cards in rest mode, so you can get like the free Tora, or you can play the Explosive Spirit Goku via Shugesh, because Frieza's a yellow leader, and blow up the card that you tapped to rest mode. It's just, there's going to be a lot of ways to abuse that ability, and I like that. I feel like it kind of overshadows the Draft Leader Bardock just a bit, but he can only do that when he's awakened. He can't do it all the time like Bardock can. Then we've got Agony of Hell Frieza. I'm surprised that name even got past any American censorship bullshit. I love the art on this card. It's a 2-drop, 10,000 power. It says, when you play this card, choose up to one Frieza in your drop area and add it to your hand. Notice he's also not Frieza Army. The cool thing with this card is you're going to use him to add a Frieza, probably himself, back to your hand to just discard for Frieza's ability. So you can pretty much infinitely loop that combo together and keep drawing 2 cards, essentially causing yourself to net 2 positive, since you're searching one with the other instead of just discarding one and then getting a +1 out of it. So I kind of like him, but it's also going to cost you 2 energy every time you play one to search one back to your hand, so whether or not that's going to be useful, I guess it's just going to depend on what you can play in that turn. Then we've got another Frieza, Coldhearted Strike Frieza. This is probably one of the coolest cards in the Tournament of Power set, at least as far as the yellow cards go. He's a 5-drop, 20,000 power, seems a little weak for a 5-drop. He's got dual attack, which is nice, and then his auto says when you play this card, you may place one Universe 7 from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring Barrier, and switch them to rest mode. Those cards cannot be switched to active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. This is the first card we have that actually specifies you get around Barrier. Sure, we have cards like Zeno and Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, but those just don't target cards. This specifically says to ignore Barrier. So once again, going along with the stun theme of yellow, and the fact that you can switch all these cards to rest mode with all of this support really helps a lot of cards out, as we mentioned before, that like to have cards in rest mode, or that their abilities specifically require for them to be in rest mode. But this will also allow you to get rid of some of those pesky cards that have Barrier that you really want to get rid of as quick as possible, such as South Supreme Kai, or even Fearless Pan just being a pain-in-the-ass blocker that's really preventing you from making that final push, because the threat of that imminent block is going to just screw with your entire game plan. And I won't even mention how great this card is going to be against Apes. Here we have one of the rares in the yellow set, Full Power Spirit Bomb Son Goku. He's a 5-drop, 25,000 power with double strike. His auto says when you play this card, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your energy and switch it to active mode. Now, this card goes perfectly in tandem with 2 extra cards that we received in Set 3, Rebirth of Judgment and To Save a Hopeful Future. So the idea is to run this card with the Red Vegito leader, which will cause him to be both blue and green, respectively, to use with those cards. Now, you would use them to play him for 4 instead of 5, but when he comes into play, you switch an energy to active mode. So essentially, you're playing him for 3. I would rather use Rebirth of Judgment just because you get the additional bounce effect. However, you're kind of minusing yourself playing him that way. Whereas if you played him with To Save a Hopeful Future and get him from your drop area, then you get that additional +1 of getting the 5-drop Goku out on the board. Either way, you can play it for 3 instead of playing it for 5, which is a really big deal, especially with energy management in this game. Then his activate main says, choose 2 cards in your life and add them to your hand. This card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. Notice that does not say once per turn. So, more than once per turn, you can take 2 cards, add them to your hand, +2, awaken yourself. Depending on your leader, if you're running that Red Vegito leader, draw 2 more cards when you awaken. Do it again, draw 2 more cards. At that point, you've given him 20,000 power. He's a 20,000 power double strike. If you evolve him, whatever he evolves into is going to keep that 20,000 power. So whether you evolve him into Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultimate Spirit Bomb Goku, or even if you use him to Potara fuse with Vegito, that Vegito is going to keep that 20,000 power. This card is insane, and probably, aside from the super rares we've seen so far, I would say it's the best yellow card we have. Here we finally get to see what the Master Roshi Forged of Will card does. He's a 1-drop, 5,000 power counter attack. So, negate the attack and play this card, and you do pay the 1 energy to play it, but essentially he counts as a yellow negate. So, if, for example, you didn't want to waste the Flying Nimbus, or if you didn't want to have to discard with Nimbus's ability. He also gives you that additional 5,000 power that you can combo with later. I don't know if I say that he is better than Nimbus, as Nimbus you can just, still just negate. You don't have to discard to prevent them from attacking for the rest of the turn. So I don't know if I say he is better, but since he is Universe 7, I'm betting he was made specifically for the green Goku leader, since it says you can only play cards with the Universe 7 trait, and that way you still have a negate in your deck that you can play that is also searchable because he has the Universe 7 trait. Then we've got the last of the Universe 7 support, barring the super rares and the secrets. Universe 7 Representative. It's a 1-cost yellow extra card with the permanent that says this card gains Universe 7 in all areas. I'm guessing that the reason this card has that trait is so that it can be played in tandem with the green Goku leader that says you can only have cards with the Universe 7 trait. So, even though you can't have extra cards in your deck, since this card has the Universe 7 trait, you can run this card in the main deck, just like how we have the yellow Roshi that is a negate, that isn't an extra card, that you can run in the green Goku deck. Its activate main says, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Universe 7 among them, and add it to your hand. Once again, this card would also allow you to search that negate. You don't really get to search for it, you get to tutor it to your hand, but either way, it allows you to search your deck for a Universe 7 card, just like the blue 1-drop Goku does. Now onto the Universe 11 stuff. We've got Jiren, the other yellow leader, basic auto. When this card attacks a leader card, draw 1 card. That seems to be the ability they just kind of give to leaders now when they don't want to come up with something creative to go with the art type. It's really disappointing and unimpressive considering that there's so much that you could probably do with all these leaders' abilities besides just giving them a basic draw effect. And you're at 4 less life, you reset 2 energy, and you flip him over. On the other side, we have Jiren, the Ultimate Warrior. That name really does not fit this leader very well, considering how underwhelming this leader's ability is. When he attacks, you draw a card. And at the end of your turn, choose up to 2 Universe 11 cards in your battle area and switch them to active mode. So he's essentially a slightly worse Galactic Emperor Frieza, because he specifies it has to be Universe 11 cards. It doesn't really fit his character well, and I think they could have done a lot more with the Jiren leader. I'm kind of disappointed to see what they did so far, but we still can take advantage of this ability with the rest of the Universe 11 support. First up, we have my favorite of the Pride Troopers, Ally of Justice, Toppo. He's a 4-cost, 20,000 power. His auto says when you play this card, if your leader card is Universe 11, look at up to 10 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 Universe 11 with energy cost 3 or less, and play them in rest mode. That's pretty dope, especially because you get to reset them at the end of your turn with Jiren. Although I kind of wish that they had made it to where he resets them to active mode when he attacks instead of at the end of the turn. That would make him a little bit better. The fact that you have to be awakened in order to reset them means that Ally of Justice Toppo isn't really bringing out anything useful unless you're already awakened as well. So I don't know if I would play him before awakening, just so that you don't bring something out in rest mode just for it to get KO'd for nothing. Then we got Secret Vitality Jiren. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 power. His auto says when you play this card, if your leader card is Universe 11, you may place 1 yellow card from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO them. Ironically, this card would go really well in tandem with the new 5-cost Frieza, being able to reset 2 of them to rest mode, and then this card would allow you to just KO them outright. Granted, that is 8 total energy, but if you managed to pull it off, or if you had some way to manipulate your energy, that would be a pretty cool little trick. Otherwise, I mean, you can just play him at any time and just blow up their cards when they're in rest mode after they've made like a decently big push to do some damage. And 1 yellow card, and he doesn't specify an energy cost to KO. That's really not a bad card. We still have to see what the Super Rare Jiren leader does, but for right now, this one's not too bad. Then Universe 11 has its own 1-cost combo card with Swift Warrior Dyspo. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 power. At the end of the battle, after you combo with this card from your hand, if your leader card's Universe 11, play this card in rest mode. Then we've got Hero Combination Vuon. He's a 2-cost, 10,000 power. During your turn, if another Universe 11 is in play in your battle area, this card gains 5,000 powers. And then at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. With Jiren's Awakened ability and switching things back to active mode, you should have absolutely zero problem keeping things on the board for his permanent ability. But I don't know how much you're really going to want to play him during the later turns of the game when you've already awakened. Then we got Hero Combination Kunshi. He's another 2-drop, also 10,000 power. Once per turn, choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. So he allows you to self-awaken if you need to. And if another Universe 11 is in play in your battle area, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and switch to rest mode. So once it's switched to rest mode, you can go ahead and KO it, or you can KO it with Jiren's ability. My only thought is, how often is your opponent really going to have a lot of cards that are not in rest mode on your turn? Then Universe 11 has their own 1-drop tutor with Hero Combination Tupper. He's 1-cost, 5,000. When you play this card, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 Universe 11 and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Nothing too special, but he's that 1-drop that you needed for the Universe 11 deck. Then we've got Hero Combination Zolray. He's a 2-cost, 5,000 blocker. Looking at him initially, I thought he was going to be a free blocker, but he's not. He says if another Universe 11 is in play in your battle area, this card is not KO'd in battle once per turn. So essentially you get a free block every time, but if they want to get rid of it, they'll just swing at it after it's in rest mode and just get rid of it. Neat little trick. Not sure if I see him having a whole lot of play. But thanks to Great Apes, the blockers are making a comeback. They already have. And he's got the neat little ability that he can't be killed once a turn. So he'll probably stick around for a little bit unless they just want to waste resources to blow him up or to attack over him. Then we've got Key Bomb Support Cocotte. It's the super combo for Universe 11. For 5 or less life, draw 1 card, gain 10,000 power. Then we've got Hero Combination Kettol. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 with Barrier, and his permanent says if there are 2 or more Universe 11 other than this card in play in your battle area, he gains 5,000 power and Double Strike, so 20,000 Double Strike. You're going to have at least 2 Universe 11 in play. will he be that useful to play because of it? I'm not really sure. Double Strike is nice, but you're also giving your opponent that +2 that could really come back to bite you in the ass as well. So his ability doesn't really do anything else besides that. I feel like maybe there might just be better things to play besides him, but we'll just have to wait and see what the super rares do. Then we got Hand Strike Casserole. He's our 4-cost 20,000 power with dual attack. And when you play this card, if another Universe 11 is in play in your battle area, choose one of your opponent's energy in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode until the beginning of your next turn. So they can't reset it with any card abilities, and essentially that either A, puts them back a turn, or unless they play an energy, then they're just not really progressing until the next turn. Here we've got Protean being Majikayo. He's a 2-cost 15,000 power with crit. He's part of the Universe 3 archetype, so probably won't see a whole lot of him. Then we've got a worse version of Youthful Bulma. We've got Super Reaction Narirama. He's a 2-cost 10,000 power. When you play this card, draw 1 card. I don't think he's worth it for 2 energy. I think you're better off just sticking to the Bulma, or even sticking to any of the searchers for your archetypes. Then we have Cyborg Warrior Nigrisshi. He's a 3-cost 15,000 power, and once per turn you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 4 or less and switch it to rest mode. Honestly, Yellow has enough cards that switch things to rest mode, and being the fact that he's only a Universe 3 card, I don't see him being very useful in any deck. I think we've got enough cards that can switch things to rest mode, whether it be to KO them or to just run them over, etc. Then we've got our bad Elemental Hero Neos cosplay, Kato Pesla. He's a 1-cost 10,000 power yellow. He does absolutely nothing else. I don't know why they keep making these things. The last yellow card we have is a Negate Cocotte Zone. Negate the attack, then if your leader card is Universe 11, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So essentially you stop 2 attacks. It's kind of works similar to Boo Make You Cookie as far as stopping more than 1 attack. However, you don't have to discard for this effect. So if you're running Jiren, if you're running the Jiren leader, there's no reason not to run this over, say, like Master Roshi or even Nimbus Cloud. I think this would just be a better card overall, and you don't have to discard anything for it. Alright, well that's going to do it for our yellow analysis of Tournament of Power. The only cards left for them to reveal are the super rares. We already know what both of the green super rare cards do, so we don't have to worry about that. So it just comes down to what the other cards are going to be. I'm assuming we're probably going to get a Frieza and a Jiren for yellow. Red is probably going to get a Vegeta and a Kale, more than likely. And then blue is going to get Bergamo, and I'm hoping it's going to be a Gohan. Some people have been saying that it's going to be a Beerus to go along with the Whis, but I don't see the point of that just because Beerus was not in the Tournament of Power. Yeah, he was there. He's kind of, involved, but I don't think that he should have gotten a card to go along, especially to take up a super rare slot in a tournament that he didn't participate in. Other than that, all we have left to see is the secret rares. I have seen a lot of people saying that this is only part 1 of the Tournament of Power, and that we will be getting another theme booster set that'll be part 2 that will have stuff like Kefla, Master UI Goku, things of that nature. I haven't seen anything to specify that we are getting one, so I can't say for sure if that is or is not the case. It probably will be unless the secret rare is going to be Kefla and a mastered UI Goku, but we'll just have to wait and see in the next few weeks. But that's all for this analysis. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below for us. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate all of our subscribers. We were at 466 the last time I checked, and that is amazing. The support from you guys has been phenomenal. Trying my damnedest to get some more Dragon Ball Super content going. It's been a rough week. Last week was pretty bad. The weekend wasn't exactly fun either, but we're going to make sure to do our best to get more content coming out to you guys. And we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here now. So we'll see you guys in the next video.